We are back, y'all. Welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James. I'm here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. Not happening in this video, but joining me as always is my girl, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her, my best friend in the whole wide world.
I
She is
don't know if
joining
you
me
can see
today.
me. Can you see me?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay, my computer froze. I'm here.
Yeah, after every live, for some reason, when I click the live button, you go into the hide zone, and I have to bring you back every time.
Child, I don't know. But I will be right back because my it's just frozen on the screen. But thank you for the welcome. Hey y'all.
Yeah, Nia Green's like, let's get into the mess, y'all. Let's get into the mess. I'm gonna wait till Mrs. Best comes back to do my PSA. I'm gonna tell y'all now, I am so drained from this show and this made up drama because I don't believe it's real. I don't believe because it sounds so ridiculous when you honestly watch the last two episodes and you're like, wait, how do we get here? Why are we doing this? Why are the two Igbo women fighting and arguing like this? One is lying here, one is deflecting here, one is saying this, the other is saying that. I don't know you, you know this one. It's giving my sister-in-law baby cousin Tracy from Friday. It's giving very much that. We don't know what to believe, but you believe what comes out the other people's mouths about the other person. Crazy. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm not here for it. I'm not here for this because this franchise in particular, Real Housewives of Potomac, is known for division. It is known for colorism, and it is known as, exert classism. We have seen this season after season after season after season, and it is getting annoying. So I'm gonna call out Bravo's call center while Mrs. Best is still trying to figure out her situation in there. Mrs. Best is like, we gonna call out the call center together, y'all. Don't worry. I know she's coming back, I promise. But Bravo in that call center, I don't know what this is. I don't know who caused it, but I want it to stop. Where is Giselle and this man? Because we only saw him episode 1. We ain't seen him since. Why do we have to show Robin in all these lies and her defending Juan? Where is her businesses? Where is everything else? Ashley, what's going on with Michael? Where is he with his lawsuit? Why are you not talking about this? Candace, where is Chris? What is all this? Like, why are we solely focused on this drama between these two ladies? It seems like a setup. I'm not going to lie, you guys. It seems like a setup for Wendy. I don't like it. I don't like how Bravo brought Aneka on the show only to prove that Wendy could be self-actualizing herself and isolating herself from the women based on her attitude. I don't like any of this. So Mrs. Best has joined us again.
So sorry.
I was just calling out the Bravo call center
What
because
they
I want to
do?
know where everybody else's storylines are. I want to know where everybody else's storylines are. I want to know where everybody, because when I tell you, it is annoying to me to see like Nia Green said in the chat, it's childish that the show is allowing attacks on religion, cultures, families, and I agree. It is a hot ass mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my public service announcement is this. After tonight's episode, I am no longer talking about the Wendy and Aneka drama. No longer talking about it after tonight's episode.
Yeah, Potomac has
Because
a bad habit of taking something and then it drags out for an entire season. And as someone who identifies as African on my mother's side, there are people like they don't speak English. I was offended, and I think you could tell last week and the week before. It's offensive just because as Africans, you should not do that. You should love each other while you're here in America. You should love each other everywhere. You should support each other and, help each other to do well. But at the same time, on a show that has colorism issues on a network that has been known to be racist since I was a child and probably before that. It's a little much. And like Naya said, why is the show allowing attacks on religion, cultures, and everything? And if this were something said about like something that can be viewed as anti-Semitic, or you know, if it was people who didn't have this, the network wouldn't allow it. And I'm disappointed in the cast as a whole for falling into the bullshit. And I think Black people have to get better at, and Africans too, at sticking together and seeing the bigger picture than these trivial, childish, beefs. I'm tired of it, James.
Absolutely. And I have one last thing to say, and then we'll get into the episode. For whoever that person is going around social media talking about Wendy needs to, someone needs to burn Wendy's house down with her and her family in it. I, on my channel, do not tolerate any form of idle threats or bullying. It is not allowed here. What we talk about on this channel is supposed to be for light and entertainment purposes. Yes, we'll throw in a read here and there, but we also come to this channel to bring almost a formality of common sense to things that do not make sense to the world when we see it emulated on national TV. That's what this channel is all designed for. We love these shows. We enjoy these shows. We watch these shows. But some of y'all on social media take it way further than it needs to go. And I'm also going to speak on behalf of my channel. I don't tolerate that here. Do not comment that on my channel. Do not comment that anywhere, because this is still a person, regardless of whether or not you agree with her on the reality TV show that she is starring in. That's all. That's it. That's the last thing I want to say. I'm not here for it.
So, yeah, Net Bangers, gotta remember, it's just a fucking show, y'all. Half of us won't even ever meet these people in real life. So
right.
Probably shouldn't go crazy on
one. Yes. So now that I got my PSA out of the way, and now we can have what really wasn't a fun episode. Really, the episode was just utterly just slow and ridiculous. But we start the episode with Wendy and Eddie. They go out to lunch, and Eddie brings up the whole Ike situation about how he thought the situation was crazy because he says he does not know this guy. He says that they weren't even in college at the same time. So for him to get mad over him following or not following, which I don't really care, that's stupid. When the grand scheme of thing is, we follow each other on Facebook, we not follow each other on Facebook. Maybe I didn't want to mute you. Maybe I just don't want to. Maybe I want to infringe you. It's like it's social media. If you have a problem with it, DM me.
Here's the thing. Wendy's lying, and so is Eddie. I don't care what anybody says. They both emulated things of body language that lead to us believing that people train, believing that they're lying. And Wendy's a liar. I'm sorry. I mean, she's her doctor is in a political science. She's literally a trained liar. So I'm tired of it. Wendy, I will say this, separate from anything that has to do with colorism or African culture, I don't think Wendy needs to be on this show anymore, even though I like her. And the reason why is I feel like the idea and the fame is something she can't really handle. If you're a private person, you shouldn't be trying to get on TV or in the entertainment industry, in my opinion, because something always comes out and usually they don't want it to come out. I'm just like over it. You don't seem to have a relationship with anybody on the show except for Candace, Wendy. You sit and you complain. Your husband's now taking the nickname of what you were so offended by and you're profiting off the t-shirts. Like, I'm kind of over Dr. Osefo. I'm over it. Please send her to Married to Medicine. Y'all sent Phaedra over there. Send Wendy. She's educated. I don't feel like she fits with this cast. I feel like they're all intimidated a little bit by her education. And now we see that someone with an education just as great or as grand, she's going to beef with too. So it's like, Wendy, why are you here? Nobody can say shit about your husband. Anytime you tell a lie, nobody can catch you on it. You do all these extra shenanigans and charades. At this point, I'm just watching Wendy for her nice outfits. That's about it.
I will agree with the like nice outfit part. I'm like this. I'm 50-50. I don't agree with her getting off the show. I don't.
Mm.
Reason being is because I love an educated African element. So no, I feel like this is very much needed.
But
Now,
it's not useful if every time someone has an issue or you have to have a conversation, you shut them down, you walk away, or you use your brain and your education to throw in people's face. She needs to humble herself. And it's odd that she has.
some of that, yeah, I agree with, but
Yeah.
some of these arguments, no, I don't agree with that. I feel like
Mm.
no, definitely use it if they can't keep up. Oh well, for them. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. But what I'm going to say is, I feel like have her be the star of the show and bring in six other women and get rid of all the rest. That's how I feel.
That could work.
I
That
feel
could work.
like yeah, I feel like because to me, because everybody is solely focused on this situation, to me that gives her star power. Fire everybody else, bring in six other women, and they can't even be highly educated just like her. And we'll see how this turns out, and we'll see if we're wrong or not. But I don't know. I feel like I cannot. I feel like she is lying about some things, but I don't feel like she's lying about everything. I feel
No,
like
she's
there is
not lying
something to
about
it.
everything, but I don't think Wendy will ever be forthright. My sister has a degree
Well,
in the exact same thing. People be worried about lawyers and how they lie. The political scientists be knowing shit. I'm trying to tell you.
yeah.
I don't trust any of I just want a new cast as a whole,
Yeah, let's
honestly.
hold that thought because we'll come back to this. Because as I said, this will be the last episode we talk about this. I'm not talking about this no more. If it continues on to the next episode, we will not be discussing it. But moving on, Candace, Wendy, not Candace, excuse me, Ashley, Mia, and Giselle go shopping, where they then talk about this again. And once this is why I'm saying they'll talk about this after this. But they begin, talking, and Nia Green says, "Can we keep Karen?"
I love Karen though. She's but
We
Karen.
could keep we can keep Karen, and we can actually keep Candace. I don't mind Candace either.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna say this. Hold on, guys. My screens, my bars are dropping. I'm gonna say this. We can keep Karen. We can keep Candace. And you know what? Honestly, I'm not gonna even know. We can even keep Lioness Mia. But no, we need to get rid of the rest of them. I cannot take it anymore. Like I'm fed up. But let's get back to because you know what? Giselle made me mad because of course you're gonna go against Wendy at any cost. And that's why I'm starting to feel like Aneka was brought on the show for. I feel like these two women had beef before this show. As I said, I told this is best. I think they're related. I do. I think that they're like a distant cousins or something. I do, and I feel that her family has been Wendy's family has been ostracized against this side of the family because we have in black cultures we have people who do that where they because this family doesn't have money or that's my poor cousin or that's my bougie cousin. I feel like it's that same element for some reason. That's what I'm going with. But they talk about how weird this situation is. Ashley, Giselle, and Mia, and they're all trying to figure it out, but they can't. And all they could focus on was, especially Giselle, is the shrine thing. She goes, Wendy's mom put her on the shrine and all this and that. And I was like, y'all are some pathetic ass fucking losers. That lady, if she did, let me keep it real with y'all. If someone told me some shit like that, I said, well, okay, well, good. Let's see if it works. I'm that kind of person. Let's see if it works. I'm not one of those people that allows folks words. Now I get that stuff is real. I get a lot of people believe in that. I'm not saying that it's not believable. But my whole thing is this. If it's true, let's see what happens. Let's see. I'm one of those people. So
I just
I
feel
don't
like
know.
nobody in that fucking friend group or at the shopping should have fucking talked about it. You got a hoe that was turned into a housewife. You got a woman that only caught a man because she was in the era of red bones. She had green eyes. And then the one I'm most disappointed in or even discussing it is Giselle, just because she comes from look up Black history, y'all. Giselle's grandfather, her family is a big part of that. So you know better. You fucking know better. Giselle. You know better. Now I know everyone's like, well, Giselle's messy, this and that. The worst of the worst people will stand up and against racism, cultural biases, things of that nature. So I'm just disappointed in Giselle, I think the most. Because Mia, like I said, hotel housewife, Robin, not the smartest, Ashley, look who she married. So Giselle, I'm like, come on now. You should know better. None of these women are African. Yes, we all come from Africa, but none of these women grew up with that culture. So why are you fucking commenting on that? The other thing is what's being discussed is about someone's mama. I don't care what color you are. You don't be talking about people's mama. If it ain't got shit to do with you, don't comment on that girl's mom. And that's the part where I do get Wendy. Like, y'all are just commenting on this lady's mom. And I understand Wendy's mom is terrible. People done sent me something online with her mom going back and forth with Mia, coming at Mia. Wendy's mom does make threats and is volatile and extremely disrespectful. And Wendy, I don't care about the old show mama shit. You need to check your fucking mom. Because there's no reason she should be this involved in the show. We don't care to see your mom at all, honestly. But this group in the shopping scene, they shouldn't talk about it at all because they don't know
Yeah,
what
it was
to talk
very pathetic. That's what I said. This was pathetic. This was such a waste of time to see. Because anytime Giselle's going to go against Wendy and find something, she's going to do it. She didn't care what Neka said about Wendy. She was going to believe it just because she doesn't like her. And that's because Wendy got in that ass about Eddie. And as I said, I wasn't mad at Wendy for doing that season.
No, that's her
That's
husband.
when I actually liked her, is when she did that, because she was so like, to me, Giselle, now I read my mind. It speaks to who Giselle really is. Bitter as hell. She loves anyone's drama to avoid her own. And that's exactly what we're talking about. Because I just said at the beginning of the video, where is that band? Where is date night? Where is
Been single on this show for how many
yes,
seasons?
all
8
of them. True.
seasons. And in those 8 seasons, we've seen 2 men. It went nowhere. There wasn't even no like physical chemistry
Right.
that we could.
Exactly. Where, yeah, that's what's up. Where's the man? Where's the date night? When is Daffodil, shout out to Color Me Pink, when is Daffodil going to college? Where is Daisy and Dixie? Shout out to Color Me Pink. Where's all of this, Giselle? Where is your storyline? Ashley,
Doesn't
when is
have
this
a
divorce?
storyline. She hasn't.
When is this divorce going to be final with Michael, or are you really going to get a divorce?
She ain't divorcing him.
You don't
Ashley
think
is
so?
insulting. Let me tell you this. 8 years ago, I tried to leave my husband because he pissed me off. I didn't go nowhere, obviously. I'm still here. When I tell you I had the papers printed, when you want to be divorced, you will be fucking divorced. Okay? You will be done. And when you're done with someone or something, you're going to finish that shit. Ashley and Kenya Moore, they both irritate me. If y'all don't go sit back up on it, because you know you're not leaving them. You know you're not leaving. Just
Yeah, I agree. It's so pathetic. But anyways, moving on, y'all. Me and G go to a therapy session, to talk about, the state of their finances, divorces, and things of that sort. I really don't care, because I feel like we know in real time Mia and G have filed, and Mia already has somebody else. We saw that at BravoCon, if people actually watched it. So she got a whole new ring and everything. So we know this scene was pointless. But just make things matters worse, G feels like he wants to proceed with suing his brothers for the business and get what's rightfully his. Mia is coming from a standpoint of letting all that shit go, because this health means more to me than the businesses they can rebuild. And the problem is that the lawyer that they got to try to get with this shit took their money, and when they called him out on it, he ended up committing suicide. And Jesus. Yes, it was a crazy scene. When I was listening to that session, I said, God damn. And it hit home for me because I actually had an editor try to do the same thing to me, took my money. Yeah. And then when I threatened to sue him, he was in a mental hospital, and his lawyer sent me and my lawyer the paperwork about his suicide attempt.
Oh, damn. I was going to find him. All right. Well, rest in peace.
No, I said attempt.
Oh, he's alive.
He's
Well, what's
alive.
his name?
We're not going to put that man business out there because my book is out. But the thing about it is, in terms of that, I didn't go with his services, but I want people to, as somebody who was suicidal in his 20s, that's not something to play around with because you want to get out of something. Like, that is like, huh?
Nice comment.
Right?
she, whoo.
No, baby, she didn't fumble that prenup. That prenup fumbled her. When I tell you I ain't never seen somebody get out of some shit in all of my life.
That's why she had the two kids because everybody said it. Ashley's full. I don't know why Ashley's on our team.
Ashley, no, here's the problem. We're gonna jump back on me and y'all in a second. We're gonna take a little detour. For Ashley to speak as well as she does and thinks that she is smart, she is actually really fucking stupid.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I have never in my life seen a man beat someone at their own game because you really thought and you said on national TV, oh, the prenup is void now and I'm going to get half of everything and this and that. And when knowing this man been married before and already had this shit happen, he ain't going to happen again. So you know what he did? He liquidated his network. So that way you wouldn't have got a fucking thing. And I said that is the smartest shit ever because he lied well, I don't know if he lied, allegedly. I can't say he did. But he changed the shit to say his network was actually this and she didn't get a damn thing.
Here's the thing. It doesn't take an attorney to know that when commenting on something that is legal or will have to go through the court, that you should say no comment and not speak on it. That's why when you're watching, a good example of that is Housewives of Atlanta. Kenya Moore doesn't really give us much about this divorce. We're just like, why is it taking so long? And then we find out what gets leaked from the court. But she herself doesn't say shit because you could say anything. And if you're not a trained attorney, then you don't know that what you're saying can or cannot be used against you in court. Like, most people understand that. But Ashley is the type of broad that speaks well, but I don't think she knows how to spell half of the words that she uses. So, yeah, that's the
I
nicest
just said
way I can say it.
she just not all there. But yeah, back to me because we can't. I'm not gonna dive on Ashley.
It's
But
true.
But as I said, people really did like get on her about this business thing. Did she really own it? As I told y'all, the type of business that it is, and the fact that it's a lean and it, it's a very complicated matter because it's a business esquire, which means that there are board members. So when there are board members, even though you could be a CEO of a company, they can vote you out.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a vote. Your vote is whatever is in continuation of the share. She just didn't explain it right. And I actually know what she's talking about. She just didn't explain it right. So
No,
now
I
that they've been
think
voted
that
out,
Mia came on this show trying to make herself look like more of a boss to the rest of us instead of just being a
true.
housewife and a
I
mom.
agree.
And nothing's wrong with that. But I think that I don't think that he would have been voted out the company if not for her. She was talking about the joint this, the joint that, showing herself on her first season of the show there. And as quiet as it's kept, not every business wants to be affiliated with reality TV stars, housewives, you
Right.
name it. So I feel like,
Because that business, it would be different if they own like a chain of restaurants or something,
mhm,
where the more you're on TV, the more you're marketing thing. You have a joint, which is actually a self-made millionaire business because everybody goes to a chiropractor. They recommend that when you get into a car accident. There's a million car accidents in the world. So a lot of people get that, and your insurance 9 out of 10 does cover that. So directly, she didn't have to really promote it. I think where she fucked up at is when she rented out that house and renovated the motherfucker instead of just letting it be. That's where I feel like she fucked up at because who the hell renovates a house to rent it?
my thing is, why don't you guys own a home considering what
Right.
you guys were into? That's strange to me because people who make way less money will take their coins and get them a house, a car. Those are usually the first things people will purchase. So the fact that she decided to rent was strange. Her and Dr. G. That could also be a reason why he's not in the business too, because he should have owned a home. But he met
I
her
don't know.
for
No, they definitely should have owned the
$1,000,
home.
and
No, they
then
definitely should
they
have owned the home.
rented.
I agree with you. They definitely should have owned. But I'm just saying, I feel like that house renovation that season that they were talking about that and all that stuff, I feel like that's really what made it known that, okay, we need to start making some decisions around here that, it's not going to look like y'all are embezzling this money to renovate that house. Because once again, I'm going to say this for people who didn't hear me in the back. Who in the hell renovates a home that they are renting? They signed a lease for. You just did those people a favor because I guarantee you didn't take that shit with you when you got thrown out the house.
You better do like the rest of us, get you some command strips or a nail
Okay,
and
for
a
real.
hammer
Get you
and put
a
your
okay.
pictures
You gotta go to Ross and go get you some pictures and hell get you some bases and hell some damn stands or some shit. The hell you renovating people's houses for? That shit was stupid. But anyway, y'all, back to the episode. We went down the rabbit hole with this one. So now we are going to Austin, Texas. That's what the shopping trip was for Giselle, Mia, and Ashley. So they're in Austin, Texas. They're at the airport. We saw Karen, Ashley, Wendy, and then Aneka. Now, Wendy and Aneka do speak to each other, so it's not completely all tension yet. So they get to, Austin, and they ask Ashley, well, who gets the other suite? And Ashley gives it to Robin because she says Robin has been through a lot. And I said,
Robin chooses to go through what she goes through. She literally has the choice. Why?
Ashley, if you don't cut that shit out, first of all, as Mrs. Best said, Robin chooses to go through this shit on her own. Robin decides to believe that bullshit that comes out of her husband's mouth because that shit sounds so ridiculous. I was like, damn, you actually believed this shit? Okay. Okay. Hey. I guess she knows when Juan is lying, right?
No.
Okay. My point exactly. So my point exactly. So here we are. We're in Austin. So she gives Robin the next biggest room, which was some bullshit. I felt like if anybody should have gotten that room, it should have been Wendy. But I digress. But anywho, you know, we're here in Austin. The girls decide to meet up at the pool with the exception of Robin and me. They decide to go and walk off. I'm not gonna get into their conversation because this is a bunch of bullshit. I don't care about Robin and Juan and their lies. I don't care about me and this, her and G situation because we know at the end of the day, Robin gonna always believe Juan, and we know Mia's not with G and she got a whole nother man. Allegedly. Because I don't know. She hasn't come out with it yet, even though she's wearing the ring at BravoCon and, spilling her own guts up there. I don't feel like her coming after me. So we go ahead and we're at the pool and everything. It was Aneka, Giselle, Karen, Candace, and also Wendy. And Karen brings up, as a group, we feel divided and we need to get on the same accord. So she then starts off with Giselle and Candace. And I feel like that is a lost cause. I feel like there's way too much water under the bridge where it's going to sink it if it goes any higher. So we shouldn't even be talking about this, but for hells and shits and giggles, they decide to. Candace feels like Giselle inserted herself in this whole drama between her and Chris by making up those rumors and saying all those lies and everything that they had said. And Giselle goes, well, when you threatened my family and all of this, and it was like, Giselle, see, this is what we
Your
talking about.
family would not have been threatened if you had not threatened her. See, I don't like when people with children do this, whether they're married or not married. People with kids act as if they have more value or more to protect than people who don't. And that's what it felt like Giselle was trying to do when she responded. Like, well, I have kids, so something can actually be affected. Like, this grown man can get over it. I'm just like,
I'm just
listen,
like,
Giselle, but thank you. Naya said, how was she threatened?
right, yeah,
You
like how were
weren't
you
threatened.
threatened?
And then even
You were
my
red.
husband said when watching it, because he remembered the last little season, he was like, why would Giselle, when she goes in her confessional and says, what I said was I was uncomfortable because her husband asked to be alone in a room with her. My husband was like, now why would she repeat that? She's keeping it going. Giselle,
No, what
like,
it was, and see, and this is what people have to remember about this whole dynamic and situation. What it was when it came out about Ashley Little, Sesame Street. Shout out to the people who call her that little friend that accused Chris of, trying to flirt with her on the slide at that bar. Giselle takes it up a notch further, not knowing that months later it was going to reveal that Chris didn't do a damn thing. But she thought to put in her 2 cents because she thought it would add validation to the girl's credibility and to Ashley's point about Chris.
why do
That's
you
what
need
she
to
thought.
add validation to somebody who you
Exactly.
don't?
Exactly. You don't know this lady. And for you to then say, oh, he was a sneaky link, and then put your situation where I was uncomfortable, you obviously wasn't that uncomfortable if you still went about it and did it because he had no idea. So that's why I'm saying Giselle full of shit, y'all. I can't with Giselle. I
I think
can't.
it's
Like,
if I think it's going to be uncomfortable for me to be in a room with someone else, and that's the thing Giselle doesn't understand. You are grown. No one's in charge of you but you. So if you're saying to us that that makes you uncomfortable, you could have told him that, and you probably would have gone and met in the parking lot or something, like a drug dealer, or however the hell you need to do it. But this is where Giselle's messy, but I think with Candace and Chris, she overstepped to a point that's just she's lucky she wasn't sued. And I don't understand why the fuck they didn't. That arbitration agreement is not today, neck, not today.
absolutely. Absolutely. That's exactly how I feel. Not today, neck. Not today. Yeah, because we know that neck got Charlotte's Web up in it. So we
Shut
ain't gonna have
up.
we ain't finna go there with y'all today. That's what I'm saying. I can't with Giselle. But anyways,
They need to
we
get rid
did
of
get
her
off.
though, because she started a lot of shit
You know
that has
what? They're
led to
never gonna.
actual
She
lawsuits for
she
people.
is the Black Kyle Richards here. She's not going anywhere, unfortunately, y'all.
Yeah.
She's not going anywhere. Like Kyle Richards ain't went nowhere. Giselle's not going anywhere. We have to deal with her and all of this ridiculousness for however long this show decides to be on air. Moving on, because I don't want to talk about Giselle no more. So moving on, now comes the time where we're going to talk about this for the very last time on my channel, Aneka and Wendy. So the group is trying to play dumb and act like they don't know how this was caused and how this started. And this is what I don't like about Aneka. Because first of all, it is secondhand information that you got from your cousin-in-law, not your blood, but your husband's blood.
Preach.
And yeah, like it's not your cousin. First off, we're gonna put that out there, y'all. And Wendy says that in this instance, she does not know this lady. She knows of this lady because this is her sister's friends. Now, a lot of people on social media, a lot of y'all tyrant people that just want to just have something to say about Wendy, saying, "Oh, I thought you didn't know this lady." She says she do of this lady. People can know of me and not know me.
Yeah, she did say we have seen each other in passing. And she
Hmm.
also did say in previous episodes that their families know each other. So part of that passing comes from events and things. So,
Right, exactly.
yeah.
And so she's saying that the cousin-in-law and her sister have not been friends for over 2 years. And when she said, and when Neka said, she was all like, "Oh, nice try, Wendy. That's not true. You just honored her at your daughter's whatever that event was that they
Christening.
honored the christening." Yes, thank you. And the christening happened in 2019. It is 2023. So The sister and Levy could have very much so fallen out between now and then. They could have very much had a falling out. And she brought the point, well, why would you hold Levy into the highest regards and emulate her to be, this, upholding stature of her, culture and everything. And I said like this. I said this on Instagram. I said, Candy once held Phaedra in the highest regard of her profession. And look where they are today.
Somebody who was African in the community actually commented, which was correct, on Twitter, Instagram. She's like, what y'all don't understand who aren't African, that includes Black people, is kind of like the Bay. James knows here in the Bay, most of the Africans know each other in their different communities. It's very similar throughout the country. So I had a debutante in high school or whatever, and African people I did not know showed up, gave speeches and things like that. So that can be common. But on the other hand, I just feel like there's proof that Wendy lied. Wendy knows this lady. It's confirmed that her sister was friends with her. The mom calling the lady about and being able to get the number. These people know each other. So it's annoying. It's kind of like when Wendy was like, Eddie doesn't follow booty models. And then we saw him unfollow a bunch of booty models. Like, this is what I mean by just keep it 100. Wendy, it's like she immediately goes to, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not doing this.
No, it wasn't so much
it's
that
annoying. Like, y'all know each other. Stop bullshit.
Yeah, it's like, that's what I'm saying. I feel like Aneka's really trying to make value of the secondhand information. And I feel like Wendy is deflecting. I feel like the two realistically are trying to prove the other one wrong, that they're going to great lengths to do it, which is why I'm not going to talk about this situation anymore. And I'm not going to explain
everything. They are both equally, I do want to say that, they are both lying. Yes. And in my opinion, they're both disgracing the community. Y'all know better. Y'all know better. Like, they're both fucking it up. Y'all should be doing this. But instead, you're both telling lies.
You know what?
And you don't know is a guarantee. They may not even.
And the more I thought about it, I'm gonna be honest with you. The more I thought about it, I feel like this was designed so that they could not come together.
Yeah.
And I felt like, and once again, we call out Bravo in this call center. I'm gonna keep calling y'all out because this is not what we wanted. If y'all were going to bring Aneka on this show, because Aneka just said on Instagram that she's had a relationship with Bravo for 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Aneka, Bravo, drop those receipts, please. What kind of relationship did she have with y'all? Was she someone's lawyer? Because if that's the case, that's not the same thing. I just want to know.
She did say too, raised in LA, and NBC's headquarters is right.
Yes, I need. If that's the case, yes, if that's the case, that's not the same thing to me. That is not the same thing as you coming out to DC area, DMV area, getting on the show and having a connect with one of the cast members who is also from your same tribe. That's not the same thing. So I need Aneka to stop that.
I think that they're both just.
They're both
obviously wants relevancy, and I like you've said before, I think she is using Wendy to have some type of relevancy. Honey, you could have came on this show and just used yourself with your husband. You honestly could have had more of a storyline than everyone. You're a working lawyer. Your husband's a traveling doctor. And according to that little scene, you want to have a baby, but you ain't willing to, you know what I'm saying, put in the work as often as.
I forgot to mention that scene. Damn, because I had a point to make about that.
I'm saying that just because I feel like you came on this show trying to attach yourself to Wendy, but you need to be confident in your own self and your own accolades and see that you by yourself could have had a storyline. But instead,
let me bring that up really quick because Aneka said something else that was very interesting. So yes, that's what I feel too. You finna get this highlighted. They are both weird. They are. They're both weird. Claim each other or not. Y'all are distant cousins. Just say it. Y'all are distant cousins. Say your great grandmothers were sisters. That's what it is. Like, I'm not gonna go back and forth with these two. I'm just not gonna do it. Y'all great grandmothers was cousins or was probably sisters, and that's probably y'all are related. I'm sorry. I'm going with that. I said it on Watch Your Mouth Reviews. Watch that shit come out. That they're actually related. Watch it come out.
It's gonna be a family tree to come out.
Watch. I guarantee you someone did that ancestry. Their grandmothers or great grandmothers were sisters. I guarantee you. But anyways, moving on. I wanted to talk about this whole. I want to talk about the. I had forgot that that even happened because I wanted to make a point. Now, did y'all realize that in that doctor's appointment with Dr. Aikina and Aneka, she said that she was 35 in that doctor's appointment, and then when we fast forward to this argument with Wendy, no one in my 40 years of living has ever disrespected me like that. Anybody else catch that?
Mhm.
So she's not as credible of being a truth speaker than Wendy is for all of y'all who feel like it's only Wendy. No, it is both of them. Because if you can lie about your age, you can lie about anything else.
Yeah,
You're
I
not lying
mean,
about
they're
that,
both
baby. If you're
liars.
40, you look.
Both
And baby, if
liars.
you're 40, Aneka, let me explain something to you. If you're 40 years old, you look damn good for 40.
She does look good for 40. I
You
just
look
wish
good
she
for
was
40.
less stiff wig.
If you really are 40 years old, you look damn good and you have to lie about that. You can still have a baby at your age. It's all can still happen. But and another thing I didn't like is I didn't like how that doctor didn't pay attention to the fact that Dr. Akim said he had low sperm count and seemingly trying to put the responsibility still on the neck. I didn't like that
I don't
because
think
that
he
could
should
be the
feel like
problem.
responsibility. That was read entirely wrong. That's the thing is when people go to the doctor to find out things, I've done that with my spouse. It's a different result, but I've done that with my spouse. Like low sperm count is common, and it's especially common amongst African American and people of color. So I think that's why he was saying I wouldn't be too concerned because he said his sperm count's at 40%. I remember when we saw the fertility doctor, they were like, they want it to be at like 45 or higher, usually. So, like, where it's at is a little bit of a concern, but there's not as much they can do in terms of interventions. You can still get pregnant, but they have to have sex more before they can go to doing more. That's what,
Well,
and I
see, I
went to
think
Stanford.
I think
So
that's why he masturbates. Like, I think that that's where that's coming from because he knows that if he does it, the more you actually increase,
that's
whatever.
probably why, because it's very
Yeah,
good
I think
for
that.
it.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
didn't like. It's not always that doctor seems to care about her. If anything, I was looking at her kind of as a wife. Like, if your spouse is a doctor and has been telling you this, because we saw him say this to her in another episode, and then you go to a doctor and you hear the same thing, like maybe you should listen to that. Like, why are you so against having more
And then
sex
also
with your
another thing, like,
husband?
stop drinking that damn champagne with the medication.
Yeah, if you're trying to get pregnant, they told me years ago when we were trying, and I went to Stanford Fertility Medicine. Very, very good. No drinking, no smoking, no, like they wanted me to exercise. They want you to take the prenatal vitamins ahead of time. Like she's not doing her part. So there's no reason to look at Dr. Iker.
No, I'm not looking at him. I just looked at the doctor like, okay, like, yeah, but that's still another issue as well that I feel like a lot
But
of people.
he's following his procedures for what doctors do. He did what probably most professionals would have agreed with. That doctor had said nothing wrong. The problem is the female patient didn't want to listen, which is actually more common. We got
I
to
tried.
hold women
I tried,
accountable
y'all.
as well. Like a lot of men go and get tested for their sperm count and come in somewhere between 35 to like 48%, which is considered low. So that's why they'll tell you to have more sex and stuff. That doctor didn't do nothing wrong. NECA, listen, if you like your man, bust it low and spread it wide. Stop drinking. And they probably want you to take on a little less as an attorney too, but you're purchasing a house, you're doing all these things, you're adding stress to yourself, which doesn't matter if he has a sperm count of 1,000 and some numbers or a low sperm count. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do, and then on top of that, not busting it wide, you're not going to get pregnant. And then you're stressed about it. Like, just relax. I guarantee they'll be fine. She's how she got a regimen with drink but want a baby. No, for real. That's why I say, don't come at the doctor. That's her, NECA. There's probably more she
Anyway.
lying about too.
Mm.
And if she is 40, that could also be a bigger
See, I was gonna put that on
thing.
age because they're
Well,
trying to take that.
a geriatric pregnancy is 35. So
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
yeah.
Anyways, y'all. But yeah, she gets.
He's like, what?
Yeah, so the ladies then I'm not gonna talk about this argument anymore because it's stupid. But they, end up dancing. Candace goes and checks on Aneka and tries to reason with her so her and Wendy can come together because Candace knows the agenda.
Right.
Candace knows that having the brown skinned ladies, the darker complected ladies on her side, they really honestly, and I'm gonna tell you, this is why I'm mad about this. Because Aneka and Wendy, as controversial and as abrasive and as smart as they could have turned this whole dynamic completely around. But no, the producers and everybody else, including Ashley, made sure that that didn't happen. So you know what? Hey, it is what it is. So that's pretty much the episode. They did go to dinner, but that's going to be a continuous on that next episode.
Your face.
And because the dinner was stupid. That shit was stupid. But that was the episode, y'all. As I said, I'm not going to talk about Aneka and Wendy's beef anymore because it is ridiculous and it's
You
stupid.
can
We're
only
not
say so
getting,
much.
we're not getting
Yeah.
anywhere with this. It's not going anywhere. To keep arguing about the same thing. I know Lebby. No, you don't know Lebby. Oh, I know this. I know that. I don't care anymore. I'm not
Go
going.
get LeBay. Ask her to come. Ask Leb to come. And other than that, stop showing it to us, production, because we can't do anything as fans. We can't judge it. We
When
can't.
we only get 5 seconds of a conversation when we didn't get the whole, because I can't even believe her story. I can't until I see the whole conversation. So that was it, you guys. That was Real Housewives of Potomac. I need to write that this was a recap and review on my title. Sorry. But for those of y'all who tuned in, thank you for coming. For those who are here by mistake, I apologize. This is a recap review with me and my homegirl, Mrs. Best. Now we're gonna go over and do Married to Medicine, which was a whole lot better. And I cannot wait to talk about that episode. So make sure y'all meet us over there. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video with everybody, especially if you enjoy us. We'll see you in the next recap. Bye, y'all.